Theater kids! Who are they? What are they? What are they always doing? And why are they always wearing black? Hey, guys. Quick question. What's your favorite musical? And go. You have 5 seconds, and if you don't, you're the ensemble and not the lead.
It was always title of show.
Okay, what's your favorite musical?
Xanadu, but it's not a. Well, yeah, but I've never seen the theater one. I've only seen the movie.
What's your favorite musical?
Sweeney Todd.
Yeah.
Okay, Sweeney Todd was my backup.
Excellent question. Mine is Phantom of the Opera because I'm sick.
And that's good. That's good.
Guys, hello, everybody. I'm Amanda Lehan Canto, and today we're responding to your assumptions about theater kids. And we're doing it all in song. Oh, I'm just kidding.
And with the
wow.
and with the greatest guest that we've ever been blessed with of all time.
The greatest guest. Today we are joined by award-winning actress, comedian, recording artist, Broadway superstar, two-time RuPaul's Drag Race winner, etc., etc., etc. Jinkx Monsoon.
Wow. Shut up. Thank you very
We were
much.
going to throw roses, but the Instacart got canceled.
Yeah. So sorry about that. Jinkx, we're seriously honored to have you here.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much.
How are you? How are you
I'm
doing?
pretty damn good. I have few complaints other than the obvious ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just general unwellness.
There's some obvious.
There's some things going on.
But other than that, peachy keen.
Yeah, you're about to hop into rehearsals.
Yeah, I want to hear all about this. You have a show coming up.
Yes, I begin rehearsals in about 3 weeks, and I will be taking on the role of Judy Garland.
Yes.
As you have before.
Specifically towards the end. So I've played Judy for laughs quite a bit so far.
Oh, yeah.
And this will be me stepping into the darker side of Judy's story. But luckily I won't be alone. There will be 2 other actors with me, and I always do well between 2 men.
Yeah, no, of course. Of course. Duh.
Amazing.
And who are those 2 men? Who are they playing in the End of the Rainbow?
They're playing Judy's husband, Mickey Deans, and the accompanist, which I believe is a fictional character that kind of represents a lot of different things.
Cool.
But it's just 3 people on stage the whole time. And it's not a musical, but it is a play with singing.
Amazing. I love the differentiation. That is an important differentiation for so many.
Yeah.
For so many.
Does that mean you'll like burst into song at any time just with
Well,
thoughts?
it'll make sense. You know?
Yeah.
It's Judy
It'll make
Garland. I feel like that she could just do that.
The difference between a musical and a play with singing is a musical, the songs progress the story.
Yes.
Whereas a play with singing, the song might just be like a random interstitial that's that character's thoughts, and then we get back to the story.
I love that.
Okay, I have a question for you then. This is an opinion thing because we've been talking about burlesque a lot.
Yeah, the movie Burlesque.
And,
sure.
I showed Shane Burlesque recently, and he was like, I can't really understand musicals because like I don't hear what the lyrics are. And I was like, but Burlesque isn't a musical. It's
not a
a
musical.
movie with songs in it.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
It's
really.
Cher. It's period.
Yeah.
Before we do assumptions, Shane, your spouse, I've had a big crush on him for some time.
Oh my
because
God.
I like long-haired surfer dudes, and I watched every episode of The Goldbergs.
You said that.
As my
Calm
post-show come down
Yeah.
when I stop drinking. I now I use video games and family-friendly sitcoms to kind of like wind down at the end of the
Hell
night.
Yeah, you were saying you watched all of
Yeah.
Young Sheldon.
Well, I've watched all of Young Sheldon, and I'm pretty sure most of the Goldbergs, if not all of it.
Yeah, I just
and I'm
skipped to
just
Shane's
a huge
parts.
Wendy McClendon Covey
so
fan.
good.
Yeah.
So I mean, just like that alone kept me coming back
Oh yeah.
repeatedly.
And if it helps your mental image, Shane has surfed a few times. So
Wonderful.
There you go.
But
Oh my God.
how old is Shane?
34 or 5. 34,
Wonderful. So
32,
it's not weird that I have a crush on him.
No, he's not a baby.
I know
It's weird because he's an old
Yeah.
man.
That thing
Now,
there.
Matt Bradley.
Late 20s people are
Yeah.
always playing high school students. So you're like, you
You're
feel
like-
weird. You're like, that guy's hot, but
Is he?
but is he?
But is
And then
he?
you get on
Yeah.
IMDb and then you say, I'm okay.
You go,
You're like, oh, he's 45.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Does his back
Cool.
hurt? Okay, it's cool. It's normal.
Fun. We love that.
Sorry. That is literally, as like an anxious person, that has been going through my mind of like, if I say I know him from the Goldbergs, does that sound like I have a crush on a high school student character? And I'm like, no, I have a crush on the full-grown man who plays.
Yeah, he's a grown man.
We know this ever since. Even since
Thank
Grease.
you for helping me process this. I was going to think about it all day.
No,
if I
no,
could
no,
just,
no.
like,
So glad
fully
we did that
talk about
before
it.
assumptions. Oh, yes. I'm also joined by Damien and Courtney. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Oh, whatever. Our
Yes.
theater kids.
Yes.
Okay, guys. So since we're doing theater kids, I'd love to just know what makes you guys a theater kid. Court?
I did a few plays in high school. I played Bianca in Taming of the Shrew.
Wow.
It was great, except for one really embarrassing thing. And then I was like,
What's that?
it was really
Glossing
great,
past that.
except for one horrible thing. Anyway, so it was like in a high school play, you know how they'll take a Shakespeare and put it in a world. So ours was like Western Saloon, Taming of the Shrew. And I was a performer, and my dad owned the saloon that I was singing at. And
Your real dad?
No.
No.
My dad.
I was like, that is
who was just
horrible.
a guy in the grade below
There's
me
no
for
such
some
things as
reason.
shrews,
Oh,
Amanda.
a younger kid is your dad.
Yeah,
Got
yeah,
it.
as
Heard.
it goes. And they had me sing "Let Me Call You Sweetheart," and as just like one number, and my voice gave out for singing. Like I was able to speak, and I was like trying to take vitamins. I don't know. I was sucking on vitamin C, like the Costco orange vitamins, trying to help. It didn't. And so the number, I'm like, "Let me call you sweetheart," and that was very embarrassing.
But you
And I
had
think
to
I have it on
power
DVD.
through. There's
did.
nothing that you can do when you're on stage and you lose your voice.
No, I just kept smiling.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
I had the high note as like Frederick in Sound of Music, where it's like goodbye, and I like.
Yeah.
But you know, the voices were changing, so like
Hell
I was
yeah.
like, I'll just take it an octave down tonight. It'll be fine. And I like tried to switch in the moment. It was like goodbye. Like, it just was as bad as could be. So.
There we go.
We've all been there.
This episode of Assumptions is sponsored by Stitch Fix. Every single shopping or makeover montage I saw on TV growing up made it look so fun, but let's get real. Shopping never is actually that fun. It never feels good to walk into those awfully lit stores all alone with no one but my insecurities at my side as I desperately try on clothes, breaking a sweat just to find something cute. This is why I use Stitch Fix now. I'm 100% less lonely and 100% more at home. Stitch Fix sends me clothes personalized just for me that show up right on my doorstep. Instead of being at a store making small talk with a girl with a septum ring who desperately wants to go home, I take a personalized style quiz with Stitch Fix from the comfort of my couch. All you have to do is share your size, style, and budget, and you immediately get matched with a stylist who gets your vibe. It saves me so much time and so much small talk. It's a no-brainer. Get a personalized Fix box straight to your door and try it all on at home in front of your cats like me. Shipping and returns are always free and there's no subscription required. Plus, get a free try-on for your first Fix. I have a very particular style and even Stitch Fix makes me feel good when I leave the house for work. Get started today at stitchfix.com/assumptions to get $20 off your first order. That's stitchfix.com/assumptions. Now back to the show.
I always create a mantra when there's something that I can't let go of. So I'm a perfectionist Virgo who hates when those moments happen.
Yeah.
But I came up with the mantra, there's always another show. And when you do 8 shows a week on Broadway, the people who have been there for 20 years, they don't want to hear about like I'd come off stage and go, I did something weird, and they're like, yeah, there's another show tomorrow. Because they've been doing it for 20 years, they've seen weird.
Oh yeah, it becomes a blur. Oh my god,
Fair.
yeah.
Because you did Oh Mary, right?
I have done Oh Mary. I did Chicago. I
Oh
did
my God.
Pirates, the Penzance musical. And I did Little Shop of Horrors, which is an off-Broadway show, but it's been running for, I guess, like 8 years now.
Wow.
And it is one of those off-Broadway shows that there's no real difference. It's just the size of the theater.
It's just smaller, and it's not on Broadway.
And it's not a Broadway.
That's it.
Wow. And yeah, the more often you do something, just the more likely something's gonna happen. You know?
True.
And I had to tell myself everyone is allowed a bad day at work. And I'm like, yeah, my bad day at work is in front of a lot of people. But the thing is the audience also gets it, you know? The more you freak out, the more they realize they're supposed to freak out. But
Fair.
if you just blow through it so many times I've made mistakes, and then the audience at the end when I'm doing the stage door was like, what an interesting choice you made tonight. I'm like, because I just kept going, you know.
They're like, wow, you made that choice.
You made
What made you think of not singing that part?
It was just, you know, it was compulsory because
I felt it.
I love when you knocked down the flats. Reminded me that I was watching theater. It was very Brechtian. Very Brechtian. Oh my
that's
goodness.
Theater kid
And
right
then-
there.
Oh my God, wow.
Bringing up Brecht.
There we go.
I just
That's
watched
a deep
Theater
cut
Magic.
theater kid.
I didn't answer my theater question, but now I feel like I don't have to. I just did. I just earned.
Yeah, I only did a couple high school plays. How much have you done?
I started doing, funnily enough, Shane and I did at different points in time in different locations the same theater show that started us in acting. We were both like Willy Wonka and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory elementary
Who
school.
was Willy Wonka?
Me and then also Shane, but just
Yes.
obviously separately. And
Whoa.
which is just a wild lore thing.
Yeah.
But I did a lot of community theater all throughout childhood and up through middle school. I did a touring, like a professional touring show in Atlanta that would like go to different schools and do like some educational but fun plays.
Educational.
Like those after school special vibes?
Like it's like A,
a little
a B, a
No.
C.
No, it's like
Not
more
for,
like
like,
trying to sell me drugs in the lot.
a little bit, but more
Dare
like
to not do drugs.
Yes,
Right.
I dare you to not do
Star
drugs.
students today aren't ready for sex.
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
I missed that one. Why did I get that? Why did I get that play? I only got Dare. We didn't
this
talk
was
about
like-
sex at all.
it was a little more like I don't want to be like it was a little more cool than that, but like it was,
Yeah,
and
hey,
so
hey,
but
be a
it was-
theater kid, honey.
It was so it was a little more cool than that.
Yes.
So I was in the high school theater classes, but all the theater stuff I did was outside of
Yeah,
school.
that makes sense.
And then I went to college for theater for like a year and a half and then dropped out, which a quarter of a theater degree is, you know, shockingly less hireable than a theater degree, and did my best with that. So then here we are.
You are a full-fledged theater kid, though, in
Yeah.
everything that I just heard.
Thank
Damn
you.
right.
Feels like it's in your DNA.
I feel seen and I appreciate you and I see
It's
you and
in
I
your
honor that and I
DNA.
thank you.
And
about
that's
you?
what I would say is it was in my DNA. Like I was, I've heard like so many stories from the people in my family because like everyone repeats the same legends over and over
Yeah,
again.
they do.
Yes, they
So
do.
my mom spoke relentlessly about how active I was when I was inside her, and she became convinced that she's like, they're doing high kicks. They're gonna be a football player.
Oh, mommy.
And then all the women in my family practiced witchcraft in varying degrees, whether they called it that or not. But when I look back on it in retrospect, I'm like, I was raised by witches, right?
Hell yes.
They just also practiced Catholicism. And so my mom had a premonition, she said, before I was born, of like, this kid's gonna be famous. And a lot of people are gonna know about this kid from their football.
Hey, you can play a character like that if you want. I know.
50% is damn good though. For a prediction, half is good. Like,
But then I was raised by my aunt as well.
Also witchy?
Also 10 times witchier than my mom.
Yeah.
I was raised by my grandma, my mom, my aunt, and there weren't a lot of men present in my life. And they were all very witchy and they all had their premonitions. And apparently, as soon as I was born, my aunt was like, no, this kid, this kid has something different in store for them. And if you with this kid, you'll lose me too. I'll take the kid and I'll run away. My aunt was 13, threatening the rest of the family. Like,
obsessed
if you
with her.
ever deny this kid their right to be themselves, I'm taking them and we're running away, apparently. I mean,
I'm
I've heard the story
obsessed.
so many times.
That's so funny.
And
Wow.
it's like as soon as like kindergarten, as soon as there was a school play, I was in every school play. And everything in my life was built around doing theater and performing, and I also did ballet for 8 years.
Oh,
and
wow.
tap dancing, and then I started drag at 15 because it was just another way to be on stage. So it's like, it's as ingrained in me as anything can be.
What is
And
Brecht?
Brecht was a director who also like kind of defined an era of theater in the Weimar Republic of Germany between the two world wars, where basically they were being extremely political, and the cabaret scene there was being very political and very direct. And there's cabaret music that still exists from the 1920s that is about being queer and about being intersex. There's all kinds of like music from this time and performances from this time that are about real issues. And it was one of the first things that you know who got rid of when they took over, because if you get rid of the culture and the evidence of these things, then people forget.
What happened?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
His whole thing too was reminding people that they were watching theater, like making you aware of yourself in the space, and these are actors and they're with you. And this is a stupid thing, but in college, a friend of mine wrote a sketch for a sketch show called Breakfast. And it was just him
this is
eating
ingrained.
cereal, looking at the audience. And I was like, this is too smart for the sketch
That's
show
a
that we're
one-man
doing.
show right
Yeah,
there.
it was
That's
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
I'm
Shout out
obsessed with
Rob.
that. You know, my first one, I think I was like 5 and I played Cat in the Hat, which was big for me.
Whoa.
Wow. And
That's
you were
huge.
surprised when the Cat in the Hat reference?
Yeah.
That's so fucking
People say I look like Cat in the Hat.
Kind of do.
No, take it in.
I'm seeing it the more
I don't know.
I'm seeing it the more you're leaning into it.
Okay, so we do also have assumptions.
Do you
from
know
our
the thing the
audience.
show's called?
Yeah, the thing, but I could like literally go down a rabbit hole
Everyone
forever.
stop hitting it off.
Well, this is a fun one. Okay, the first assumption from our audience is the drama backstage is bigger than the drama on stage.
Always.
Do you guys agree?
Probably depends on the
I
show.
think it
I have a
depends on the
question.
show.
Are we talking about like being a theater kid? Like this is middle school and high school age? Or are we talking about theater in general?
think theater in general.
Yes.
Theater
Okay.
kid
In
is a
general.
lifelong.
Got
It's
it.
a lifelong
It's a
mantle.
choice. It's a lifelong decision.
And
Got it.
in my experiences, the drama backstage is always more intense because it's based in real life.
Yeah,
and,
right.
and I do a lot of shows where the drama on stage is like some wacky stuff, right? But the bigger the cast, the more likely the
sure.
drama.
And it can be
know.
simple about like, that's my seat, that's my spot. I'm doing my makeup here. Are you done with this makeup spot? Or this is my cubby. These are my clothes. Like when I was in a theater program forever, it was all about like your spot, your spaces.
Interesting.
No, I get that.
Isn't that weird?
I had one
But not
pop
really.
up that comes to mind that's really goofy, but like the touring show that I mentioned, we would basically do 1 or 2 weeks of rehearsal in order to do this show for like a year, 2 years. It's like whenever you're needed, you'd be called up and you're like next day we're doing
Yeah,
like 3
yeah.
shows, whatever. So we were in this like intense rehearsal space and we were sharing the space at like a dance studio. And someone, do you remember Kudos? Those little like chocolate covered like granola bars, those delicious like
Oh, yeah.
they're so
I
good.
thought you meant the phrase, like, kudos to you.
Remember when people used to say kudos and ditto? It was someone brought those like candy bars for us and like, you know, just themselves. And we like went into rehearse and we came back and some of the dancers had found it and apparently had like eaten all the kudos.
The dancers ate all the kudos?
The dancers ate all the kudos.
That feels
and
wrong.
So this one guy was like on the warpath and he couldn't say kudos. He called them kadoos. And he was like trying to like be really, you know, we were teenagers. So he was trying to be like really masculine for all the girls. He's like, yo, I wish I could have some kadoos, but someone ate them.
Oh my
I
God.
wish someone
dancers
had
are like-
eaten all my kadoos. Like it was.
I will tell you, as obnoxious as any other type of theater kid there is, the heteronormative straight dude who also loves theater is a very special breed of person. Like I went to college with a lot of dudes who were every bit the heteronormative dude you'd get in any other university, but they directed that energy at theater.
Oh, yeah.
And then it would come through in their work in every kind of way. But then they would sit there congratulating each other about it. And I'm sitting there like,
They would. They'd be like, excellent job out there.
You tortured me from my seat, and I could see that you were tortured, and everything was so angry.
You made me laugh. I felt sick to my stomach.
Yeah, it's always this intense, like,
it's like,
you went
Jesus.
there. It's like,
You
and
went
meanwhile, I'm making, my stuff was all about, like, vaudeville stars frozen in a glacier, kept alive by a cocaine addiction, you know?
Oh my God.
Like, that was my senior
Incredible.
presentation.
Mine was always older women, like, I felt so in touch with what you were doing. And I was always like, thanks. Yeah, hetero, oh my God, that's so true. And they would always like take up the space. They would always be like, can we stop down for a second? I'm not feeling in this mode
God.
right now. And
And
you were like,
And
oh
it's
my God.
like when I had all these years away from theater school, I realized, it's the method actors. See, you all feel the same
Oh,
way.
no, of
You
course.
all had a visceral reaction.
Oh, yeah.
And
No, we
I've
didn't.
been on this this trajectory of like, method actors were just coming up with reasons to treat
be
people like shit
awful.
and get away with it. And it's actually just, and I keep saying, how come no one ever method acts as a philanthropist? Was Adam Sandler, and I actually hear Adam Sandler's lovely to work with, but like when he was playing Mr. Deeds, did he walk around with millions of dollars and give it to people
Correct.
to get into character?
It felt nice.
Yeah.
But no, we always hear about, like, I think of The Shining the most of
Yes.
like,
All the weird.
so you tortured a woman and everyone said it was okay because you were
Because
in
you were a method
character.
actor.
Yeah.
Right.
Same with Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey.
Right. And I love The Shining. And I fully believe that you could have gotten the same performance by letting her in on it.
I
right?
agree.
Because that's acting.
Right.
She could do it.
And if you have to become the character to do it, then you haven't really learned how to act. You've learned
Right.
how to be a sociopath.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just feels like it feels like almost in a non-consensual way, you're affecting the other person's performance more than you're improving your own. You know what I mean? Like in a weird way.
It's I don't know. I have no and I luckily haven't had I worked with David Hyde Pierce. He didn't become the modern major general for for 5
wow.
months. Ramin Karimloo did not become a pirate king for
What a
5
shame.
months, and we still put on one heck of a show.
Yeah. Because that's acting. They're
Yeah.
tapping
That's
into
acting.
it. Okay, this is a quick one. Real theater kids know it's spelled with an R-E, not an E-R. Yeah, so Nicole brought this up to me and I was like, right, what is it? Is it theatre or theatre?
Isn't that like a UK versus US?
That's what I
That's
thought.
all it is.
That's what I thought. I thought it was
Like gray
R-E.
versus
People
gray.
who
It's
tell you
British.
that there's a difference are assholes.
When I type
guys
it
hear
out,
that?
sometimes when I type it out, I'm like, which one should I do this time? R-E or ER? I'm feeling ER today.
People hung up on that are hung up on the wrong shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And there you go.
Well, you heard it first, guys. Because, people got really mad at our theater kids community posts.
Oh,
Seriously,
no.
they were like, why are you spelling it ER? It's R-E. Go learn your lines, kid.
I just think we made up these words, first of all.
Yeah.
So let's I am a Virgo who loves spelling and loves language.
Uh-huh.
And I had to let go of my because so many people have different relationships to language, and I'm just like, as long as the point's getting across,
As long as you understand what I'm
I will be
saying.
meticulous about my own writing, and that's why my text messages are this long and written with a
Same.
beginning, a middle, and an
Me
end,
too.
love it.
and like a thesis statement.
Me
right?
too.
But I'm not gonna censor how other people
No.
connect. Like, as a witch, some people spell magic with a C and some people spell it with a CK.
CK, that's
No.
right.
I have never personally invested in
A
developing a
CK?
preference.
I don't
prefer
think
the
I
word-
can handle that.
I like spelling gray with an E. I feel like it's sexier.
We invented
Yeah.
all these
Gray
words
is
anyway, so
sexy.
it's like,
You know what? As long as we get the point across, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, another assumption is Hamilton was the worst thing to happen to annoying theater kids. Okay, I resent this.
Yeah.
I
know
love
what that means.
singing a Hamilton song.
I feel like I could see Jinkx has feelings. Please, please,
Jinkx,
please, please, please.
sorry to
Monsoon,
change topics. How do you
tell
feel
us.
about this?
No, I have all the feelings, because I like Hamilton itself.
Yes.
Love my pal Lin-Manuel.
Yeah, Lynn.
Your pal.
And I love the music from Hamilton, but there is a thing to be said for white kids without rhythm singing the songs at you. And I'm saying this is another theater kid trait, which is they have a tendency to do things at you, not with you.
No.
And that's the consent thing.
You're
of
not giving permission.
It's like, tell me the story about blah, blah, blah. And then they start acting it out with you and start jerking you around.
Yeah.
Sure.
My best friend had to be like, I'm not an actor and I don't want to act that out with you. Like, you have
Oh
to
my
stop trying to make
God.
me act it out
This is
with
me.
you.
Oh,
and
God.
so, like I'm saying, I know these traits because I have had to confront them in myself and learn that if I want to get along with a lot of different people, I've got to...
I can't use them as my scene
chill.
partner.
You must be chill.
Not everyone's ready to say yes and.
People are not. I'm not like singing the Schuyler Sisters, and I'm like, now you go. The Schuyler Sisters. Like,
So there's something about, I think,
Eliza.
just the visceral reaction of the white people coming like, Hamilton.
they headbutt you so hard. Hamilton. You're
And
like,
you're kind of like, I didn't ask for this.
Okay, okay, so you guys are saying like Hamilton was like the Rick and Morty of like, you know, like
yeah.
is that like I'm so sorry, I think I killed Jinkx.
I promise this isn't COVID. I smoke a lot of weed.
Monsoon.
I think that is a very
That's
inside
so
way
funny.
of saying exactly yes.
Okay, now I know.
That would be my thought too. Is like that. Yeah, yes. Like people took it and ran with it in maybe too much of an aggressive, eager way. But like, there's always been a Hamilton. Like in my time in high school, everyone would be like, "Oh my God, Wicked, and it's the best thing in the world," and just like
Yeah.
sing
Yeah.
at each other. Like, I bet I could do the notes too. And
Oh yeah.
I can't tell you how many times people just like, you say rent and they go 525,600 minutes. And
Like,
these
have you seen it? Have you seen it on
and these
Broadway?
these white straight kids singing about AIDS. I'm like, you don't know nothing about what you're singing about, you know? Like,
you watch Angels in America and then
Oh my
tell
gosh.
me about
I love
525.
it. You're like, you know what it's about? You're like, they can't pay their
yeah,
rent.
they can't pay their rent.
It's hard. It's
But they
relatable
love
to
their
now.
boho life.
They love their life.
And then Mimi,
That one's a stripper.
and
She
Mimi
can't pay.
dies, but I can't really remember.
I think he
that
dies
much.
of old age. New York is a crazy place.
90s. It was the 90s.
It was the
It was
90s.
This is awesome. I've never seen Rent, but now I have.
This is actually leads us into a good next question. You can always tell when someone was a theater kid. How can you tell? And what does theater kid energy mean? Okay, besides the method acting, which you can tell, what is like to me, theater kid energy is just like kind of like my soul, my deep soul, where it's just like,
You can like it's a
I did the
Yeah.
thing and I did it. I did it well.
It's the willingness to jump up and perform at a moment's notice.
Yes.
It's like
There's an eagerness to it.
Yes.
there's an eagerness to it.
An earnestness.
But I think the most annoying quality that you could pinpoint and what this question's getting at, and this is fully in self-reflection, it's volume control.
Oh my God.
Theater kids do not know
they
That's
don't.
how
good.
to self-regulate their volume. It is a trait I've had to teach myself through the years, because the
Yeah.
second I start getting excited, I get too loud. Or the second I
Yeah,
start
me
getting
too.
angry, I'm like back in the moment. And my best friend and business partner always has to say, it's not happening right now. I'm not the
that's
person.
good. That's
Please,
good. I need to
please
say that to
don't.
myself.
I
Yeah.
don't need
It's
to.
so
you can
true.
tell me the story without reliving it, please.
That's literally, it's like at a sleepover when you're like, guys, you guys need to be quiet. And they're like, yeah. Hey, like we do not know how to express ourselves.
That's a good way to
And
think
then
of
like
it.
a
No, no.
chill.
Okay, I'm whispering now.
We're gonna go to bed and we're quiet.
Speak to the back of the
Anyways.
house, but it's just a little room.
I mean, we've had to
We're in a little
project.
room now.
We've
Yeah.
had to project our
That's
whole
true.
lives.
No, it's important.
I feel like theater kid energy too is this like openness with people. Like there's a vulnerability to it where like, I feel like with theater kids, especially as teenagers, we'd always just be like, hey, I have a good day. I love you. I love you. Big hug. I love you. And this is great and wonderful. And that's not generally the vibe that you can take into a day-to-day
financial people
space.
don't be like, I love you.
Unless it's followed by bro and they've had like 9 beers.
Yeah, I
and they're
love
like,
you, my dude.
No, like I did track as well as some of the plays, and like the relationship with my like relay team was not nearly as close as like me and the other background actors of whatever.
And
other
relay is like
Shakespeare.
this.
Yeah, and we're like changing in front of each other. It was like, whoa, we're so cool. Like we're so adult. We're like getting ready, and we're like so in it. Like just everybody helping each other.
And theater kids are like, oh my God, you have a mole below your nipple. What is that? Like theater
Don't worry,
kids
it's
see you
just a
naked
tick.
all the time. They're like, wow, your butt does that? That's awesome.
And track is just like silent.
It's usually supportive, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's usually
Hopefully.
like, oh my gosh, with that butt, you could play blah blah blah. You know,
It actually is. And then there's always that like, what's going on there? Like, how are you? How's everything going? It's always like in tune with you.
are people laughing because they feel called out offset?
I love the studio audience. That's how I know we're hitting valid points.
Oh, we're hitting.
We're all kind of skirting around physical touch with
Yes.
Yeah.
your old school theater kids have physical touch boundary, self-regulation. They want to get in there and work out the knots with people they've just met, right? But I will say the younger generation is very different because it's like with the consent counselors, the intimacy coordinators.
Yes.
It is all very much. Well, what I love is you get people my age where they reach at you and then go, May I touch? Because then they're remembering, no, we don't do that anymore.
That's literally me, except my hand is already on their shoulder,
And then you go-
going like this and going, I'm so sorry, I didn't ask your permission.
Oh my God, I love the idea. I didn't think about how these things affect like schools. That's really cool to hear that can be like in the younger generation like that too.
I started substitute teaching at my college right after I graduated. Sorry for tapping your mic stand.
I consent to any mic tapping you want to do. Sound
So,
might not.
I was getting kind of updated because things started shifting while I was in school, but I was being taught by people who were very much of the old guard, you know? So everything was very, very intimate. And then as I continued to teach there through the years, I was continually updated on, and nowadays we have to find a compliment for every critique. And I'm like, where was that when I was a student? You know, I'm like, you're really kind of pulling the veil off my eyes right now.
Yeah,
You're
right?
like, we can't make them feel like shit anymore.
You're like, but how did I get that
like, but I was
breakthrough for
broken.
years? I was broken over and over.
No,
Yeah.
I really loved my theater school experience, and I'm completely self-aware of what kind of experience I had, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Okay, next question. Lead role son or choral daughter?
What?
You guys get that question?
It's the like meme of like, would you prefer a gay son or a thought daughter? And it's like the people would do that on TikTok.
Yeah,
and then all the
So it's like a
responses are
choral
always
daughter, like
A chorus?
People were like, I don't know, gay thought envy.
Ensemble.
Yeah, I think
someone-
ensemble's good.
I
I
think
meant
it's like
to say
ensemble daughter.
Role son or ensemble daughter?
Role
Principal son or
Yeah, principal
ensemble
son or
daughter.
woman in the back who is working. Who, when you go on stage, all you're doing is going like, "Hey, what's up?"
You know what? I've got my answer. NB stage manager.
NB stage
Because
manager.
we need
That's
them.
not on the
But
here.
that's a good wild card, and I love. I love the NB stage managers. My answer would be principal son, leading role son, definitely.
Of course.
Because I would know how to deal with that ego, having been that person myself.
You're equipped.
Whereas trying to make a choral daughter, an ensemble daughter, feel okay with being in the ensemble, it's like I wouldn't have felt okay with being in the ensemble. I would have been like, write your own own show. Don't do that.
Well, that's a good way to handle that too.
Just been standing.
I think I'm ensemble daughter because other than non-binary stage manager, love that one. But when I've met performers and I've learned that they do a lot of ensemble work, I feel very like, okay, cool. So like you really like to work with others, and it's going to be a good time.
Here, I'm like replaying how the reason why I would never do ensemble work well is one, because I know I would only be happy in the principal characters.
Love
and if
it.
you know that about yourself, it's better to know that about yourself than try to play ensemble characters and then be
Like,
bitter
unhappy.
boots and
Yeah.
resentful the whole
Sure.
time, and then undermining your principal's performance because you think you should be doing it and you would have done it better. So it takes a special kind of person to do ensemble, because also they're the people who work the hardest in the show. They do the
They are.
most dancing.
Yep.
They do the most singing of anyone. And then lots of them are also understudies. So they have to know their part. And then if they're a male swing, they have to know every ensemble role's part. So when I kind of make that face that, well, I wouldn't be down for ensemble, it's because I know that I'm not cut out for
All
the
that.
intensity. That is like when I come to a new show, I want to spend a lot of time getting to know the ensemble, because those are the people that are going to have your back on stage the
They're going to
most.
bring you up.
Yeah,
They're gonna
and
make you shine.
And they're gonna I don't know. I just love being a part of a cast.
Same.
So I love nowadays I get a private dressing room, but I do my little walkabouts where I go visit with everyone. I come around with Starbursts or other
Yellow or pink,
candies.
that's all I have.
If you're patient, they'll even eat out of your hand. You lay it flat so they don't bite. Okay.
I feel torn about this one. I feel like I grew up, even though I did Cat in the Hat, I grew up doing a lot of ensemble work because they were like, you look like a mom, but this is a kid's show. So I would always be in the back, the tallest one, a part of the working, people. And I got used to loving that and always saw the lead role as never a possibility. And then when you get a lead role, it's like, it's delicious. And it's very hard to go back.
It's very hard to go back. I've talked to other principal actors about this, where it's like there's a certain kind of intoxication that happens.
You're high.
When you know that you've got the audience in the palm of your hand. And having been a drag queen, and we're talking much smaller audiences, but I've been addicted to that for a long time.
yeah. Yeah,
More
that's
than
intimate.
alcohol.
Oh, it's the best feeling literally in the world to be like, if I draw out this word, everybody is listening. And people are like, oh, they're not laughing. And it's like, that's fine. They're listening. And it's addicting.
It is
I'm
so
addicted
funny.
to it.
But you only get to those moments. And I always remind myself this stuff. And this is why I say I could raise a principal son, a leading role son, is I have learned to thoroughly appreciate every single job that goes on. Like,
Yeah.
I love to learn what went into the set creation, so I know that the set creator cares as much as I do.
Yeah.
I love to know the backstories of the ensemble characters and get to know their
Yes.
characters, because then I know they're putting as much, and then I feel like I'm surrounded by all these nerds who love theater as much as I do, and you just feel
You're basking in it.
you get to that reckless abandon of I'm surrounded by my people, so I'm not sticking out like a weirdo right now.
Yeah. You're like, we're all doing this together.
Exactly.
And you're in the environment.
And you never forget, because while you're wearing a microphone and a wig and the costume on a set that someone created under lights that someone designed with music that's all of it comes together to give you that moment where you have the whole audience. And if you never lose sight of this is only happening because we all cared a lot, then it's really easy to see yourself as a part of something bigger and not I'm the one who makes the magic happen.
Right.
You're just a conduit,
Yep.
you know?
Flow state.
You're just part of it. I love that. Okay, this is a totally different question. There's no such thing as a normal high school theater teacher. I relate to this so hard.
What
I
do we
feel
mean
like
by normal? What
Well, that's not a
Compared to who?
that's not a thing.
What?
I feel like my theater teachers were creatures from another planet, and I loved them dearly, and they were all so different.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
like one woman was so. I will say, as I do character work, I think I have played versions of my theater teachers because you're watching them so intently, and then you're just like, what is she do? Like one theater teacher, her neck was so long, and every note was like a slow turn of the neck, and you're like, she could slice me, but I love her.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whoa.
What about you guys?
When I went,
and you guys?
when I said like, what do you mean by normal? Like when I think of a theater teacher, I don't think of the most like, oh, they're just a boring old whatever. I think of like
No.
basically what you
Eccentric
talked
and-
about,
yeah.
a little eccentric. So I had
Just a little.
shout out Mr. Spearman. He was like tall and thin and like had the most piercing blue eyes and like
Yes.
very buttoned up and glasses and just as sharp as could be. And I think of him as like very intense just by his presence. But like to me, that's a theater teacher. They're either like eccentric and dress in like long, flowy.
They live in the thin
draping-
places.
Yeah.
They're just like, they're traveling. When they go to sleep, they're going through a portal.
They see the weave.
Like they're literally entering a veil to go to bed.
Yeah, the veil is drawn. That's wild.
I love that. My high school film teacher and theater teacher, there's this funny story. I don't know if I've told it here or anywhere, but we were talking about the movie Titanic and the ship, and we're like, yeah, like it's crazy how cruise ships and ships are like almost twice the size of that now. And Mr. Hunt goes, "Oh, honey, they will never make a ship that big again."
Oh
And then, like,
my
he's
God.
we're like, what? Mr. Hunt, please. He's like, no, they can't do that. You're so silly. And like, we're like,
He thought the
"Sir."
Titanic was the biggest ship
Still,
ever. I
in
mean,
2012.
it is, no?
I don't think so.
There are ships that are like triple to quadruple the size of the Titanic.
Is it called the Viking Cruise?
what?
Remember when I said there's movies I've never seen, but I know everything about?
No.
I'm sorry.
I'm actually in the same boat. I haven't seen
Titanic?
I own it on VHS.
Which
The two?
VHS?
The
Yeah,
two
both of
The
them?
two VHSs. Yeah, right, exactly.
Have you seen a Titanic performance?
I saw Titanic.
What's that?
What?
Titanic is a comedy parody
Hell
of
yeah.
the film that was playing off Broadway for some time, and now it's moving to Broadway in the fall, I
That's
think.
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I must see it.
If you're a Titanic fan in any
Huge.
form,
Huge.
you have to see Titanic the next time you're in.
That's awesome.
New
I'm
York.
absolutely down.
Will
Amanda,
do.
they have plays that are 3 to 4 times as big as Titanic now. So.
No.
Oh.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, honey, they will never, ever.
No.
That's such a specific
My-
response. Oh,
Yeah.
honey.
My theater teachers were like, if you ever met them, I always say, like, when you meet my family, I make a lot more sense. When you meet my theater teachers, I make so much sense because I had 2 theater teachers. Our school had a fairly developed theater program, Grant High School in Portland, Oregon.
Yes.
And my 2 teachers were Chris Lane, the musical theater teacher, who told me candidly, I just think I'm a drag queen born in a straight man's body.
I love that.
Hell yeah.
Because he helped me discover my love of Hedwig and the Angry Inch. And we competed with songs from Hedwig for thespian competitions.
Wow.
And then the
Cool.
other
Wow.
teacher was Trisha Todd, who
Trisha
was
Todd.
a cult lesbian film star
Yeah.
from the cult lesbian film Claire of the Moon. And she always smelled like patchouli and lemongrass and
Wow.
very earthy.
I feel like I'm
And
there.
since I knew from day one that she was, queer, I always felt very comfortable being myself around her.
Right.
And she always encouraged me to be myself, and then also would be like, you're gonna have to butch it up if you play Tybalt, just a little bit, we're gonna make Tybalt. Tybalt's gonna be like you, but you gotta butch it up a
Butch it
little
up just
bit.
a little bit.
She was always very
You were the
real
Prince
with me
of
but I loved
I
me.
love that.
I loved because I was like, oh, she's not telling me I can't play Tybalt. She's
No.
telling me just to butch it up a little
Gotta
bit
shift
because
I love
yourself a
that.
little bit.
exactly. And anyway, now I don't have to worry about how queer I am in my roles.
You don't
but
have to butch it up
both
too
of
much.
these teachers really let me, as much as I possibly could in a public high school, be myself.
Right. That is incredible. Okay, here's one that I don't know. Okay. There's always a couch. Those who know.
Oh.
Does anybody know? Do you both know? Do you know?
Well, this goes
I'm
back
assuming.
to the touch policy between theater and
Yeah.
It's the backstage where it's like, I hear they like hooked up on that sofa. Like, yeah, that's the makeout sofa. Like, don't sit there. That's the makeout sofa. Yeah, I don't know.
In my high school, the couch in question was gotten rid of, but then it became a coffin in the scene shop.
Oh, that's horrible.
There was a coffin in the scene shop.
Yeah, the scene shop just had the couch, and the lovers would go and look at it.
The lovers would go and look at
I
it.
never made out with fellow actors in the
Same.
scene shop, but I did make out with a couple of the stage crew in the scene shop. Where literally one time, and the guy was, I think, otherwise self-identified as straight, but what does any of that mean? But I
Hey, the
turned to
sofa
him.
does
I was
not judge.
playing Jack in Into the Woods, and he was on
my God.
stage crew. And I turned to him and I was like, they're not going to need us for like 45 minutes. Do you want to go make out? And he was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, I'm not gay. And I was like, that's not what I asked. I asked, do you want to go make out? And he went, sure. And
Wow.
and then we did. And that was the way we would kill time sometimes.
Yes.
And that's, if this is on the theater assumption,
You're so
I
cool.
think the couch is part of it. It's like theater kids are horny.
Theater
Yeah.
kids are so
So
horny.
horny.
There's also the touch policy thing because they'd be like, okay, everybody get to know each other, do your names, and now we're gonna do a massage circle, and then switch, and
I
everybody's
love
just
massage
like,
circles.
oh, like,
I
we're all-
remember that.
had so many experiences in ballet. It was
Oh my
almost like a
God.
prerequisite. It was like, how many dudes have you blown? You've been in ballet 8 years now. You should have been up to at least 20.
Oh my God.
You'll never be Black
This is-
Swan
I
until
didn't
you hit
realize
20
this about
digits.
ballet, and I'm f***ing here for it. That's a whole leotard.
That's why I stayed in ballet for 8
Yeah.
years. I wasn't that good at it.
That makes sense.
But I really liked being around ballet boys. And none of them identified as queer.
That means
At the time.
gay.
time.
That's
At
not
the
what I
time,
asked you.
that's
At the
that's just ballet. That's ballet, baby.
That's ballet, baby.
They're all gay now,
That's a show
but
baby.
you
Of
know.
course, but at the time, they're
That's
ballet.
just ballet school.
That's just ballet
yeah.
school, honey. Okay, this one is just written right now. Cats is actually good.
the actual musical or the movie? I've not seen either.
We don't talk about the movie ever. we cannot discuss the movie ever. Do you guys remember when the movie came out and they didn't
Yes.
CGI the hands?
And they had buttholes and they had to get rid of the buttholes.
And it's like release the butthole cut, and like that was the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know why they got rid of the buttholes.
Yeah, cats have buttholes, and the cat is not a dog,
You
as we
were-
learned from the end of the
Okay,
show.
you give energy that you've been in Cats.
No.
Oh, okay,
No,
sorry.
she has not. She hasn't sing
I'm
memories.
just watching this conversation unfold and just really enjoying myself. Cats has good music,
Yes.
right? And zero premise.
None.
Hell
So
yeah.
that's the thing is like, yeah, is Cats good? It depends on who's doing it. The Jellicle Ball, incredible.
Incredible.
Also moving to Broadway. I think there are time capsule pieces that they will be timeless forever, but they will
can
be
remain
good
there.
as long as people can keep finding new perspectives. Because it's like there's only so many ways to do cats because it's about a bunch of cats. There's not a story there.
There is no
No.
story. It's just a
What's-
bunch of cats in the
Is there
city.
conflict?
No, it's
Yeah.
They sort of try to they try to make it like
crazy
you're
about
a
a story
new
that
cat coming into this cat group, and at the end the old one dies. You just learn about what it's like to be in a group of cats. But like it's a very
Don't they
thin
ascend?
thread.
They
But that's dying.
Wow.
see. They ascend to be reborn into a new life. Because
Okay.
cats have 9 lives.
Yes.
Right.
But only one can be reborn each Jellicle ball or
Yes.
each Jellicle.
Okay, sounds more like a
Jellicle,
cult.
Jellicle.
Yes.
Well,
No, you're
But the
getting
thing
it.
is these shows, the shows with less substance, it's all about how you interpret it. But like, I loved Cats as a kid when I didn't
Same.
know much about musical theater, and now I'm like such a Sondheim person that I'm like, who's changing, who's growing, who's
And the answer for that one for the movie is everybody, because they change size in every scene.
That's true.
Did you see the butthole cut? What? Explain the butthole cut, because I know the hand cut.
So there, as Courtney had said, there used to be visible buttholes in the Cat movie, and then they had cut it out. So in the same way, when people were like, I think some Superman movie was out at the time when people were like, release the Snyder cut. No, it was Suicide Squad. Everyone's like, release the Snyder cut.
It's Batman.
It was Batman.
Snyder.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Release the Snyder cut.
Yes.
People
I
were
got you,
shouting
James.
to release the butthole cut.
Okay, so the butthole cut because they want the buttholes
Originally,
back.
like it was like too graphic for the big screen to have little anuses, and then
They didn't need all the close-ups. I'll say that.
wait, you're saying they changed the hands too, like
So
Sonic?
they came out, and Dame Judi Dench was a cat, and so was Taylor Swift. Interesting. So
I forgot
and there was
about
one
that.
part where Dame is like doing this as a cat, and it's just her full hand. So it wasn't like a paw.
So they
didn't
missed-
CGI.
they missed
a couple
the
spots.
hands.
Oh, so they do have paws in the movie. They just messed up on that one.
I think they messed up on a couple things, including the buttholes.
Okay,
Anyways,
but I'm talking about the hands.
There's a lot of things.
Amanda looked at me and pointed. I didn't say
Listen, there's a
anything.
lot of
Buttholes,
things
Damien.
No.
going on with the cat. If you want to watch the cat movie, do. I am going to move on right now. Okay. All theater kids only date within the theater group, and things get weird and messy fast. Thoughts? Do we? I don't know if I dated within the theater community because mostly everyone was straight, but not straight.
I know a lot of actors who will not date within their casts, and I think that's a good principle, you know, unless both parties are ethical sluts and they talk about it beforehand.
Right.
Unless they just kind of want to.
I haven't had many cast love affairs, but I did have one that I don't think it ever got messy. It was just so funny to us that no one knew because we were having so much sex all the time and no one knew. But the director was constantly like, your two characters, I really like what you're finding, so keep exploring it. And we were just like, but I was always the one in pretty much any setting that like anyone who was feeling experimental, I slept with I like to say I'm like a semi-permeable membrane between straight and gay. It was like sleeping with me was part of initiation.
Yes, of course. It was the entryway.
And it was like you slept with me and you either found out, are you gay and shall you go on to gayness? Or was that just a one-time thing? But I will say, and I'll try to keep details out, but I did have sex with one such person. And then he went on to be straight after that, self-identified as straight and started dating girls. But he was, anyway. So, and then,
Right.
ages later, his girlfriend says, thank you for helping him learn that he likes being pegged.
Wow.
So do you think he told her
Well, he would have to.
He's like, I know something that I like if you're into it.
Wow. I love
and then
that
called you out by name and you're like,
I was like, how do you know that? Well,
That's awesome.
and that leads me to my next joke. We're all comedians here. Is that I've been thinking like the best way for a dude to prove that he's an ally is to f me, right? Because this got a lot of men, a lot of action in my life. Is like they'd go to girls and be like, I'm a little fluid, you know. I actually had sex with Jinkx over there, so, and you're just like, and I'm like, I can attest.
it went well.
He's chill.
He's chill. You'll enjoy it.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that is awesome.
It's a rite of passage.
That's incredible.
I love that this girl was just like, thank you for letting us
yeah.
discover that. Hell yeah.
Well, you know, and that's the thing is like I say, self-identifies as straight, but like there are things that are objectively true. Straight men, you might like things in your butt.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're not a straight dude anymore. It just
Right.
means you found a little
something.
a poorly kept secret amongst
Did you guys know about this?
My favorite thing is that like straight people are just all of a sudden eating ass like it's the newest thing. And I'm like, do you know how hard we fought? To be able to eat ass so that you could just Johnny come latelys, just waltz in and start eating each other's ass. But I'm more power to you. I'm glad. I'm glad.
We paved the way.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with that. Okay,
How many bleeps are going to be in this episode? I forgot to ask
none of
if I
this is
could
making it to
swear.
air.
We're gonna keep the
Oh, you're not
No, we
airing
cut the whole
this.
thing.
No, yeah.
We're gonna keep the
None of these are
ass eating.
filming, yeah.
And we're
keeping it
gonna
all.
keep the cats conversation, all of it. They'll never escape Zip Zap Zop.
Oh, well.
Oh my God, are you okay? Should we get a bowl?
This is true.
Jinkx,
This is true. Well, because you just said, or before we began filming today, before we began recording, Amanda said, should we do a warm-up? Should we do an improv warm-up game? And my only thought was, well, we could very easily play Zip Zap
I
Zop.
said this to Nicole. Nicole was like, let's do a warm up. And I said, Zip Zap Zop.
I think at a certain point, like, what's it do?
It doesn't do shit.
It helps you
It's
connect.
reflexes. It's
quick,
reflexes.
it's connection.
That's
It's
true.
literally just to see who's listening.
It's the dumbest form of Meisner exercise.
Yes, yeah. Especially when the person leading it just starts it, and it's like I think it's like a way that you just get everybody paying attention
Fair.
on one.
That
page.
situation of like the heteronormative guy on theater, when they play Zip Zap Zop, it is a whole, it's like zip.
It's like handball to them.
Zip. Yeah.
Sorry.
In our improv troupe that I've already spoken of, we played Zip Zap Zop every rehearsal.
I love
and
it.
sometimes, depending on, we had a rotating director because we were a co-op improv. Oh my God, so Pacific Northwest. Anyway, so depending on who was the director, Zip Zap Zop wouldn't end until they were satisfied. And it was like we would play Zip Zap Zop for like 20 minutes.
No.
And then
shit.
it's like the more you get angry about it, the longer we're
longer
gonna
it's
play until I feel
Weird
like
power
we're really
trip.
zipping and zapping and zopping.
Wow.
So yes, Zip Zap Zop, it's real.
You can't escape it. It could be a torture thing. It could be a fun thing. It could be like an intro thing.
But you're
You're
stuck.
playing it.
You're stuck.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Bow to it.
I feel like talking about the like I've never been that person, but I do feel like teenage competitive me for Zip Zap Zop. Like when people would get like eliminated in the elimination version, I had to be the last one standing. I had
you're
to
like,
be the
Zip-
most. I'm so locked in and paying attention more than anyone else, and I look back and I cringe.
Yeah, but I love that.
Well, I think it's time to distinguish. There are the theater bros that
Yes.
we've kind of been talking about. Theater
Yeah,
bros,
dudes, yeah.
what I call them. And then there are the male actors who just happen to be straight.
Right.
And I've been lucky enough to work mostly with these male actors. And one thing that you're kind of reminding me that I learned is theater was a place where the boys who were straight but didn't fit in with other boys found their community. And that's oftentimes where you meet the straight guys who know all the queer lingo and who are totally chill with their queer friends because they did theater and
They did theater. Yep. Yep. That's you, Damien.
That sounds about right. Yeah. I heard recently where it's just like someone said like I'm a man in the same way like a tomato is a fruit. Where you're like, huh, yeah. There's like, oh no, I'm a straight guy in the way that a tomato is a fruit. Where it's like, oh yeah, that. What?
Yeah, I guess that tracks.
That works.
Actually,
It just
yes.
happens.
But you're like, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, it's a nice. It's
Well,
a nice
because
little
we're getting
thing.
such a prime example of the worst type of straight men, like daily. So the distinctions have become important.
They're very, they're very clear.
There's nothing wrong with being a straight man. It's how you use it. It's in the
Yes.
Finally,
use your
someone
powers.
supports them.
That's how you use your abilities.
Yeah.
So yeah, Zip Zap Zop. Never escape. Okay. Theater kids are great liars.
Ooh.
I don't think so.
No.
I actually don't. I find it really hard to lie because it's not the truth of my soul, of my
Right.
spine line.
This just doesn't align with me.
It doesn't align
because
with me.
I can't resonate with
It's not my
this.
POV.
I'm not, yeah,
It's not
exactly.
my.
Certainly not
You
good
have
at
to
hiding
you
what
have
you're
to make it
feeling.
make sense to me.
You have to make it make sense to the scene and to the storyline. Am I lying for a reason to save my mother who's to get across the land?
Oh my God.
Why am I lying?
Across the land.
So that's
the
my-
Oregon Trail musical. I always forget about that one.
Oh my God, that would be so sad. We'd all die.
That would actually be great. It changes every night. Who gets dysentery?
So true.
Nice.
So yeah, theater kids are great liars. I don't think so.
I'm a terrible liar.
Same.
What we were just saying is like, if I tell a lie, then I have to create a whole fucking character and story around that lie.
Same.
And if I'm expected to maintain that for any amount of time, the stress is gonna eat away at me. So
Right.
yeah,
I won't be able to sleep.
I also feel like you being a Virgo who loves language and is in theater, I feel like you can always find a way to say what you really feel.
I like to think these days I have found I'm old enough and I have lived long enough to learn the right tactics to communicate with a wide variety of people.
Amazing.
But the people who I can't communicate with, I kind of just shut down
Yeah.
around, you know?
Me too. I don't need to come
the
up with a
lack of,
lie. I'm
yeah.
just like, yeah, that's great.
I just stop interacting
Yeah.
with them.
Right.
I also feel like there's a difference between lying and bullshitting. I think
Oh, yeah.
theater kids can bullshit. Like, I can bullshit all day. If you're like, tell me about the time that you went on this family trip when you were 10, I'll be like, I'll make it up and look you dead in the eye and be like, it was
Like
crazy.
expert.
This
We
thing
can
happened.
be like expert.
So it's like an
Yes.
addendum. Theater kids aren't good at lying. They're good at convincing themselves of things.
Yes.
There
Because
you
I'm
go.
thinking about the lies I upheld the most. It's like, it's just that I convinced myself that's what happened. And then you asked me to tell the story, and I'm like, well, this person came in and was really just rude.
awful.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like,
They
other
were
people who were
yelling.
there were like, no, she was the rude
you
one.
were.
She's reframed this story.
And that
you
is the
know?
most painful situation because you go, who am I? What is my compass? I don't even know who I am. Where you're like, you came in hot, and the person goes, what? I hate that. Me?
Fragile little delicate me.
I was just hanging out. I was pulling my tarot cards.
That's awesome.
Is the
Do you think that they're liars? Are you
I'm
a good
thinking
liar?
about my own experiences and like, okay, so the story that came to my brain was when I was in middle school, I was doing a track club outside of school. And for some reason, like, so parents divorced. My mom would take me to church on Sundays. And then I would, because on Sundays she would curl my hair, I would sometimes have curly hair for track practice. And whenever I had curly hair at track practice, I'd pretend to be my own British cousin who went to boarding school really young. So she had an accent. And I like fully tried to convince the track team that I was Charlie. I was Charlotte and I had curly hair, and it's like, I went to boarding school in London when I was 2, and like, and I really,
This is Parent Trap.
really committed to it. And then like eventually I just like stopped. And
Did
pretended it never
was
happened.
anybody like locked
it.
in? Did you get anyone?
I think I tried to convince. I think some people really believed it, or they were just like really into the bit and like just were like playing pretend with me. And then this one guy, and then I got caught because there was this one guy from my school who would sometimes come to track, and he'd be like, "No, you're not," and he would
Oh my
ruin
God,
the
I
illusion
I
and the
hate that
whimsy.
person. Someone said, I don't care what theater kids say. The Les Mis movie is incredible. Les
Maybe
Mis
you'll
at
care
all.
what we sing. No, sorry.
I'm a theater kid who loves the Les Mis.
Yeah, me too.
I
liked
sang
it a lot.
along with the song. Not in the theater. I wouldn't do that, but I did it in my own.
On my own, I was
private.
sobbing.
When I went and saw it in theaters, I was crying Anne Hathaway's tears, and
my
I dreamed a
God.
dream. I was there getting my hair cut with her. I was fully transported.
Same.
good.
And I
So good.
do you guys remember? So when the movie came out, they did a contest for this is so weird. So Les Mis on Broadway, they did a contest who was going to be in the movie.
Right.
And what's her name who played? She wears like a newsy cap throughout it. What's her name? I can't remember, but she's in all the Broadway, and it was her first movie premiere in Les Mis.
I remember,
But she is
yeah.
like a lead on the Broadway
Yeah,
performances.
didn't they tell her on stage that she was going to be in
Yes.
it? She
Wow.
plays.
I don't know why they
the
did
one
it
the
as, like, a
character who sings on my
contest.
own.
Why did they do it as a contest? I don't know.
Not 'cause
She
that-
sang On My Own.
Yeah, what's that character's name? Who sings On My Own?
That's
Liesl.
Eponine.
Eponine. Yeah. Yeah, they told her who played Eponine in the musical
on stage that she
was going to be in the movie.
won the movie or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, anyways, and I loved the movie so much because they were actually singing as they filmed that,
Yes,
which I was.
and it does make a
You can t-
huge
you
difference.
can
Way
feel it.
immersive, yeah. I had the weirdest thing with Les Mis is when I saw this one we're talking about, I was like, wait, I know this story. I've seen this before. Wait, it was Liam Neeson, and there were no songs. There was like a whole other movie adaptation of
Les
Les
Mis?
Mis without any songs.
Really?
And it was Liam Neeson. It was like an action movie, and he
There's
was like
a
Daddy.
whole film of Sweeney Todd with no songs.
Wait, with Johnny Depp?
No, Johnny Depp is the one with songs.
Yeah.
But
Sweeney Todd.
They didn't do a second version.
Oh yeah,
that was a sly read. No, there's one I can't remember who plays Sweeney, but Joanna Lumley plays who plays Patsy on Ab Fab. There was like a BBC original film of Sweeney Todd with no music, and she plays Mrs. Lovett.
Was it good?
I only watched a little bit of it and then realized there was no
Answer.
music, and I was like,
Stop.
Yeah.
Even you, Joanna Lumley, I can't.
I can't.
I see you, Joanna. That's
You
it.
weren't enough. I see you,
I feel you.
Joanna.
Okay.
Which is a song.
Yes. Yes.
Sweetie
It's great.
That was so good. Oh.
Damien, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, as a former stage crew member, I feel like a lot of the cast members in shows took us for granted. You wouldn't have a show without them. You already mentioned that you don't really take.
Well,
This person feels they were taken advantage of as a stage crew member, but you were talking about that you
I think
really.
it's all about the actor. Some people take the time. I
Totally.
was making out with stage hands.
You did your duty.
And then I went to a
They were the
school
best.
where you had to take a year of being a stage hand so that you would
Yes.
appreciate the work that everyone else does on stage. And then nowadays it's like I have the most fun hanging out with the stage crew because
They're the
they're the
best.
ones who want to gossip with you the most.
Oh, because they literally know
They're
everything.
observing everything too
They
as
know,
they're building
and
around
they're
it.
the type of person you'd be like, hey, I really want to try out this thing, or for one, I had this guy who was a stage crew and also was building our sets. It was he like did double, and I was like, I really want to do a motorcycle scene on stage where the guy behind me 69s me while I'm on the motorcycle. And we did this. And he built a motorcycle on stage for us. And it was unbelievable.
What?
That's wild.
It was
like-
a blast.
And 69ing?
I have
Yes, he went over, yeah.
I've done the low budget shows in the black box theater where it's just, there's not a lot of crew, there's not a lot of anything. And I love that too. But as an actor who grew up dreaming of being in the kind of musicals I now get to do, it's like, of course I have more fun when there's a full world to play in and there's like countless people there trying to help me make it happen, and they're just as excited. And so when you show up for the experience, it's an incredible experience, If you kind of just are there to get your own rocks off, you can miss out on a lot of what's so cool about
Yeah,
theater.
100%.
You're missing out.
Art department in film and like stage crew, it can be almost like an invisible job where you really like and it's like they say about editing too. It's a good editor when you don't notice the editing. And it's like because a show is so immersive, you like unless you've been in the industry, you're not always fully thinking about how it was all done and how it was all executed. And like we don't have DVDs with the behind the scenes anymore. We don't have like I wish there was more content like that of all the behind the scenes and the making ofs, but it's like
seeing the
lost
people
art.
in the little green suits with the tennis balls. I also, one of my best friends went to school at the same time as me, and she was in the production department, and we were roommates. And she would tell me, we all hate it when you theater kids do that shit, and I was getting the outsider perspective
Wow.
of like, we hate sharing a cafeteria with you. And I'm like,
Oh, it's
not
probably so
me,
annoying.
the collective
But
theater
yeah,
kids,
yeah.
but I'm like,
You were the.
Of course you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Like when it's the clown final and the clowns storm the cafeteria and are way too much, and then you want to talk about method bullshittery. You know,
That's
it's
so
like when
funny.
clowns go out in public. It's
absolutely crazy.
Wow.
Guys, theater kids. I got so giddy the whole time. How are you feeling? How do
That
you
was
feel?
fun. A
we
little
feel
trip down memory lane.
like a musical right now.
yeah.
Okay.
Sing it.
I feel happy being me.
Good. No,
I'm very happy that you are you.
Oh my god! I learned so much.
Yeah.
I love this.
And to finish this off,
You're gonna finish this up. Oh.
Zap.
Oh God! Stop.
Zip.
Zap.
Curved it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God!
What?
You hit James. James, are you okay?
Okay, so the zip zap zop hit the cameraman. Wow, way to respect your stage crew.
I wanted to remind everyone that they were watching a video.
Okay,
Very Brett.
Okay.
Jinkx,
And we're back.
when are your shows? What are the dates of your show?
All May and June at the Soho Theater, Waltham. Google it.
Yep.
And
This is in London?
I'm playing Judy, Into the Rainbow. Yep, in
Oh
London.
my God! We could go. Maybe we could. If people are going to, because we're doing Reddit stories in London, and maybe we could see
Come
it.
and gossip about it.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
And then, I have the annual Jinkx and De La Holiday Show, which tours through the States and Canada. So if you are planning ahead for next winter, this upcoming winter, go to jinxanddela.com.
Oh my God,
If
yeah.
you're going to London anytime soon, I'll be there May and June and playing Judy
I'll
Garland.
be in London in May.
Yes.
So.
Oh my God,
Hell yeah.
Jinkx, this was an absolute honor, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you so much for having me.
Bye. The curtains are closing.
So if
shut.
Shane wants to be an ally, you'll give him my number.
Okay, I will.
I don't know what ally means.
Okay.
I thought that would be a good way to
That's
button.
Nice.